state's government shut down on Wednesday after lawmakers failed to reach an agreement on how to fund the government. On Tuesday, Senate Democrats voted down the last-ditch Republican bill to extend federal funding for 7 more weeks. As Republicans only have 54 seats in the Senate and need 60 votes, Democrats use that as leverage in an effort to achieve their policy goals regarding health care. Both sides had blamed each other for the imminent shutdown and refused to budge from their positions. Now that a lapse in funding has occurred, roughly 750,000 federal workers are expected to be furloughed or potentially laid off by the Trump administration. Those that stay on the job won't get paid until after the shutdown ends. The last government shutdown lasted for 35 days from December 2018 until January 2019 during Trump's first term as president. That shutdown had been the result of a dispute over immigration and border security.
The Portuguese government on Tuesday adopted stricter immigration laws to make it harder to enter the country, pushed through with the support of the far right. The center-right parliamentary majority approved the revised bill after the Constitutional Court blocked its previous version for being too harsh on immigrants' family members seeking to join them. While all the left-wing parties voted against the bill, the two largest parties approved more than a dozen amendments to the decree, with the overwhelming support of the right-wing parties represented in the chamber. The raft of measures approved stipulates that only highly skilled workers are eligible for job search visas. And from now on, family reunification for immigrants will only apply after at least 2 years of legal stay. Lawmakers are still debating another element of the reform regarding conditions for acquiring Portuguese nationality. 2024 records show more than 1.5 million non-Portuguese people were living in Portugal, around 15% of the total population, and nearly 4 times more than in 2017.
The European Union has welcomed the 20-point plan laid out by U.S. President Donald Trump to end Israel's war on Gaza and urged Hamas to accept it without delay. EU leaders, including Foreign Chief Kaja Kallas, Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, and Council President Antonio Costa, have expressed commitment to the plan's successful implementation. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz said it's the best chance to end the war.
Gelingt eine Einigung, dann steht Deutschland bereit, sich bei der Umsetzung des Planes einzubringen. Das gilt politisch, das gilt humanitär und das gilt selbstverständlich auch beim Wiederaufbau der Region. Wir betrachten das als Arbeit für einen Nahen Osten, in dem eines Tages Israelis und Palästinenser friedlich und sicher in 2 Staaten leben können.
The proposal includes, among other aspects, an end to military operations, the liberation of Israeli hostages, the release of hundreds of Palestinian prisoners, disarmament of Hamas, and the unimpeded delivery of humanitarian aid.
Todo aquello que sirva para evitar el desplazamiento forzoso de población, para terminar con la hambruna inducida inaceptable, para conseguir la liberación de todos los rehenes y para terminar con esta masacre de inocentes, demasiados muertos ya inocentes.
Recent days have seen several EU countries recognize the state of Palestine, and Trump said conditions could be in place for a pathway to self-determination. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, however, said he would forcibly resist the prospect of Palestinian statehood, casting doubt on whether the 20 points can be realized in full.
Regional authorities in Ukraine reported on Tuesday that at least 9 civilians were killed and 15 others injured in Russian strikes in the last 24 hours. In Sumy, a couple and their 2 children were reportedly killed in a Russian drone strike on Tuesday. The drone hit a residential building in the village of Chechnya in what the region's governor called a targeted strike.
Не дуже крепко спав, летить і на сниження пікірує. Одіяло натягнув на себе, взрив, стекло посипалося.
According to media reports, a 60-year-old was also killed elsewhere in Sumy, and 3 others were killed in Donetsk. Ukraine's Air Force said 46 out of 65 drones launched from Russia overnight were intercepted by its air defenses. Daily Russian strikes in Ukraine continue as US-led efforts to end the war have made no progress.
An aide who worked for a prominent member of Germany's far-right AfD party has been convicted of spying for China. Jian Guo worked in the parliamentary office of Maximilian Krah, a member of the European Parliament between 2019 and this year. Krah is currently an MP in Germany's parliament. Guo has been charged with repeatedly providing Chinese intelligence with information on negotiations and decisions in the European Parliament between 2019 and 2024. He also snooped on Chinese dissidents in Germany and gathered information on AfD lawmakers. Krah was a witness in Guo's trial and said he did not have any knowledge of his former aide's activities. Earlier this month, Germany's parliament lifted Krah's immunity in connection with allegations that he also has had ties to China and was involved in corruption and spying scandals. Krah denies wrongdoing and says the allegations are politically motivated.
The Romanian President Nicolae Șordan expressed his great satisfaction over the victory of the pro-EU coalition in the Moldovan parliamentary elections during an exclusive joint interview with Euronews in Euronews Romania.
Să reiterez imensul meu respect față de cetățenii din Republica Moldova pentru modul în care au abordat aceste alegeri parlamentare, în condițiile în care a existat o presiune pe multiple planuri din partea Federației Ruse. Auzim mai puțin, dar că Occidentul se pregătește să înceapă un război cu Rusia și că oamenii se vor duce la război. Am văzut asta foarte, foarte intens în Moldova și oamenii au judecat rațional pentru viitorul lor, deci este absolut lăudabil.
After the electoral success of the pro-EU bloc in Moldova, the Romanian president thinks that the Moldovan government has the political opportunity to speed up the negotiation process to join the Union.
Acum, în procesul de aderare, există cumva un calendar comun pentru Moldova și Ucraina. Știm că există opoziția Ungariei la aderarea Ucrainei. Ce se va întâmpla este că foarte multe, indiferent de contextul sau de calendarul formal al negocierilor, în ceea ce privește Moldova, discuțiile tehnice pe capitole de negociere vor avea loc, chiar dacă nu vor fi oficial lansate. Eu sper să fie lansate, dar dacă nu, ele vor avea loc, astfel încât, din punct de vedere structural, administrativ, Moldova să fie pregătită cât mai curând de aderare. Deci eu sunt foarte, foarte optimist că Moldova va intra în Uniunea Europeană.
Nicolae Șordan is also aware of the structural obstacles concerning a fast Ukrainian accession to the EU.
Nu optimist pentru Ucraina. Acolo există în momentul acesta două probleme. Există opoziția Ungariei și există în perspectivă o discuție despre agricultură. Nu are în momentul acesta standardele pe care noi le impunem agriculturii în Uniunea Europeană și atunci discuțiile care au loc sunt ca pe acest capitol agricultură Ucraina să aibă un statut aparte, astfel încât să poată să continue să facă exporturi semnificative în țări neeuropene și pe toate celelalte capitole să fie agreată. Bineînțeles că Ucraina mai are o problemă și mai mare, dar care ne preocupă pe toți, războiul.
You can catch the full interview on the Europe Conversation on Euronews and Euronews.com.
A powerful 6.9 magnitude earthquake jolted the central Philippines late on Tuesday, killing at least 69 people on the island of Cebu. Efforts are underway by the government to search for survivors and restore power and water supplies. Authorities fear the death toll is further expected to rise. The shallow quake's epicenter was roughly 19 kilometers from the coastal city of Bogo, with a population of 90,000. Its tremors caused widespread damage. Footage circulating on social media showed the severe damage the quake caused to an old Catholic church in the nearby Bantayan Island, with its walls and belfry collapsed into the courtyard. The earthquake comes less than a week after the area was battered by back-to-back storms. The Philippines is one of the world's most disaster-prone countries and is often hit by earthquakes and volcanic eruptions due to its location on the Pacific Ring of Fire.
Qatar's foreign ministry says Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has apologized for the airstrike on Doha earlier this month. The strike targeted Hamas leadership gathered in the Qatari capital to review a U.S.-backed ceasefire plan.
The September 9th attack hit a residential neighborhood, killing 5 Palestinians and a Qatari security officer. Officials say the apology came during a trilateral call with Netanyahu, U.S. President Donald Trump, and Qatari Prime Minister Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdulrahman Al Thani. On Monday, President Trump also outlined a 20-point plan to end the war in Gaza and secure the release of all remaining hostages. Foreign ministers from 8 Arab and Muslim nations later issued a joint statement welcoming what they called Trump's leadership and sincere efforts to end the conflict.
Mediators from Qatar and Egypt have since delivered the proposal to Hamas negotiators in Doha, who are said to be reviewing the document both positively and objectively.